we'll start with the table right here. I can't see any colors. Yes, where you go.
So I was at a table, there were two networks, and then people from some of the CEGEPs and McGill, and a HR person from ASSIS. So it was nice to have all the different viewpoints. Concerning the monitoring of recipients, I guess the main challenge is that monitoring is time-consuming, but we more spoke about the solutions to the monitoring. Somebody suggested creating a Facebook page for all your bursary recipients. One of the networks has a youth Facebook page, so it could be integrated into that. Going to the Order of Nurses, you can look people up and check that they're still licensed. And keeping consistent contact over the years. I know personally, once the bursary students had fulfilled their obligations, we didn't follow up with them until we got asked to with Amélie, and then we had a few people that we had lost track of. We didn't have their numbers and that sort of thing, so it was difficult. So I think now I know I need to call them once a year or twice a year and just keep that consistent contact. And again, some of us are inviting them to specific people to come to events when we work in high schools promoting health careers and that sort of thing, and that helps keep them engaged in what we do. Concerning employment, the main solution we had was finding that contact person at the CIS HR that you can say, I've got these brilliant candidates for those jobs that you're looking for. And especially targeting the sectors where there's an employment shortage, so in our region, nurses. And that's something that we've done over the years, is target those professions. So we may get physiotherapists applying and nurses, but we will pick the nurses over the physiotherapists because of the greater need. So one of the schools has talked about needing, using the bursary students as point people. So when you've got a large population from rural areas, it's nice for those post-secondary institutions to know who the bursary students are, so that they can also use them to provide community for other students. And so some of those obligations for the bursary students could be put into our contracts with the students so that they know that they need to self-identify or play a role as a leader. And then in terms of changes, one of the challenges we've had is promoting the bursary outside our regions. So it'd be something maybe from the McGill end to be able to promote the information to all post-secondary institutions, because we're all having to, we all have students going to John Abbott or to Heritage or to McGill, and so students in those programs, key programs, need to, the university doesn't know who's coming from Gatineau, who's coming from Île-de-la-Madeleine. And then again, the monitoring is time-consuming, so I think some of those suggestions that we got from around the table could be very helpful for that.
Thank you, Ginny.
Anything else? Next table.
Where is our...
Do you mind going to pass
that? I'm answering concerning the monitoring. My suggestion was, as a single mom developing a specialty in bursaries with a PhD in neuroscience in the house, it would be to write a letter, 250 words, on what have you used the bursary for during that year. And sending it back to who gave you the bursary. That was the first suggestion.
Et considérant la question portant sur le programme de bourse, bon, la phase 4, d'identifier un changement. En fait, la suggestion qu'on voulait vous faire, ça serait de peut-être faire un projet pilote où les critères, autant les critères d'admissibilité et les critères au niveau de la formule d'allocation soient un petit peu assouplis pour des régions actuellement qui ne sont pas considérées parce qu'elles sont considérées dans le territoire de la CMM. On parle entre autres là, de Châteauguay, on parle entre autres de Vaudreuil, Longueuil. Je peux vous dire que dans le cas de Vaudreuil, on parle d'un recensement 2016 de la population. On a 35 de la population d'expression anglaise sur le territoire de Vaudreuil. Et comme ce n'est pas considéré, et comme c'est considéré sur le territoire de la CMM, ben, ils ne peuvent pas être comptés dans la bourse. Et ben, ces étudiants-là, quand il y a simplement un pont à traverser, ben, ils ne reviennent pas dans le territoire de Vaudreuil-Soulanges une fois qu'ils sont rendus à Montréal. Donc, on se retrouve. Donc, dans le fond, notre suggestion, c'est peut-être d'en faire un projet pilote où la formule d'allocation serait revue. Donc, évidemment, pas autant qu'on comprend que Côte-Nord, Gaspésie, Abitibi, c'est très loin, que nous, on est un peu plus proche. Donc, ce serait vraiment dans le but vraiment de demeurer dans des régions un peu plus éloignées que le centre de Montréal.
OK.
Donc, voilà pour une suggestion.
OK. Merci. Merci beaucoup. Tab dans le coin. We're okay here, right here.
Hi. At our table, we didn't have a ton of expertise in the bursary program, but we have some ideas maybe that are out of the box. In terms of the follow-up and monitoring of recipients, one thing we've noticed with our students is they don't use email as much as we do. So maybe using social media, perhaps Facebook, creating a community on Facebook, and could even be one of the obligations in their bursary contracts that they join this group, so that when they are needed to respond to surveys or send documentation or testimonials, you can just send out an alert and they'll receive it in their Facebook accounts that they're checking on their cell phones all day long anyway.
Yes.
So that was just one of the ideas for some of the follow-up with them, maybe at the end of the program. In terms of recruitment, I come from the college network, and one of the things I found inspiring was the Cégep de la Gaspésie des Îles. They had an adventure tourism program, and they came down from Gaspé to Montreal, and there were cégeps in Montreal that allowed them to promote that program in Gaspé within the colleges. So I know Vanier was very open to that, and I think Dawson eventually as well allowed them to come and promote. And perhaps there's something to be said for employers that want to recruit, if they can come to Montreal and try and attract people from the big centers to, I know that part of the objective is to keep people that are already in the regions, but there will always be some people moving out. So why not try and recruit from the big centers and convince people to come in? And then in terms of the possible changes to the bursary program, again, we're not specialists at this table, but we thought that if somehow some incentives could be put in place to do that type of recruitment, where people could come into Montreal or Quebec City and recruit out to the regions, that would be an interesting thing to look at. Again, we're not sure if that exists or not, but it was an idea that came up.
Thank you very much.
Did I cover
Thank
everything?
you.
We weren't part of a table. We started discussing anyways. And we were thinking more about the entry to this whole program is the role that CEGEPs could probably play is a more identifiable way of keeping track of people who are from the region. So the same survey that I did already asking, are you interested in going home? I could just have it personalized and ask the students to identify where they're from. And are they interested in going home? And could I share their contact information directly with the community networks who are interested? So Don Abbott, just contact me, Joanne Ross, and I'll put you on my list.
Excellent suggestion. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We have a table ready to go over here. Thank you.
Is it on? Yeah. Concerning the recipients, getting them more engaged, the importance of the follow-ups. The student says that the application are time-consuming and the deadlines are short, so that's why we had one that didn't reapply because she didn't have time to do the application before the deadline. Concerning unemployment and recipients in the region, the higher students, like the higher studies, like doctors, they leave the region because they can afford to reimburse the money, so they just reimburse the money and leave. The CIS structures not offering full-time jobs, that's another concern. Identifying one change, well, kind of like eligibility also. In there, we say maybe distance education, summer students, because some of the programs include summer students, need inter-regional allowance, and full-time versus part-time studies. So one solution would be maybe to create more categories.
Okay.
And that's it.
We've taken note. Is there another table that's ready to go at the back, maybe? Helena? Have you? Pardon me? Okay, is there another table? Okay, is there anybody else who did follow the instructions that hasn't reported? Okay, thank you. Well, I have to say that these comments are, yes, we do have some. Here's one. Sorry.
We just talked a little bit about the fact that when we do the promotion, for myself anyway, because I'm new at it, I just thought about promoting within the English school system, but we should be promoting within the French school system as well for students going on to English institutions.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. And just the other thing, a comment about the application itself. Again, it's the first year I'm doing it, but some of the students in high school in particular, if the students are coming from universities, they're more used to filling out forms, and so it doesn't intimidate them. But the ones coming from high school get really scared and often don't complete it. So I don't know if there's a way of simplifying it because it's a challenge.
Okay, thank you. Noted. Well, thank you very much. These comments will all feed into discussions and reflection regarding the new the new bursary program that we will be designing, and your feedback will be valuable during that process. We're using it, but we will consult as well before there's a final product. Thank you.
Piloting a new a program with different features. Okay? On a déjà ce programme-là. On a expérimenté depuis 2 ans ce qu'on appelle un programme de bourse ciblée. Et justement, ça a été ouvert à la région de Laval, ça a été ouvert à Terrebonne aussi. Alors là, je dirais que le pilot est fait et ça va être intégré dans le prochain programme de bourse.
Mais on est très contents.
Yeah!
Merci beaucoup.